My name is Carolee Levin. I am a certified behavioral interventionist and I am a certified life coach. I have a combined 15-year history of working within education. I did work in private centers. My main goal is when I'm working with individuals or even with companies to focus on the behavior patterns that you guys are seeing day in and day out that's disrupt and then turn around and help you identify how to disrupt that loop. So one of my big beliefs is we need to learn how to stop living in the autopilot world. Make sure that you get to choose to be the driver of your day in and day out activities. So that's a little bit about me. And with knowing that I have a big passion about helping individuals understand, you guys get to be the drivers. That's a big, big picture that I want you guys to understand, that at any given point, it's not me who's going to make the decisions on what's best for your life. It's you who's going to get to make the decisions. So through finding out what those behavioral patterns, behavioral loops are, heard the term behavior loop, thought about the term behavior loop, or is it a brand new concept that you've heard? So for those who may not understand what a behavioral loop is, let me kind of start with that first. And a behavioral loop is the action that someone does repeatedly without really identifying that they're doing it over and over again. And an example of that would be someone who knows that they need to exercise more, yet they allow themselves to continue to make excuses, or they will simply do an avoidance to get away from it. And then they loop back around and be like, I really need to exercise today. So those are the types of behavioral loops that we're going to look at today. So when you think about your own situation, that whether you're looking at this through company, whether you're looking through this as personal, is there a specific behavior that you have right off the top of your head that you are curious about, or that you are wanting to explore, or you're even a little nervous to explore? Fear. Fear is a phenomenal behavioral loop because this is not only just an action, this is something that is also on the emotional side. So you end up with that tug of war of logic versus emotion. And when you are stuck in the fear, anxiety, or worry loop, a lot of times one of the things that you should kind of ask yourself is, how real is this fear of actually impacting my life? What is the probability that that fear is going to come true? And you're going to start to be curious with yourself, and you're going to ask, well, if it's really not going to happen, if I don't have a high probability, what is making me make it such a catastrophic event in my head? Yet the probability is like 1 to none, or 1 in a million, that I'm actually going to have that come true. So when you start asking yourself these questions, to dive into understanding what is the major impact. So fear is my major impact of what I'm trying to change in my behavior loop. Then asking yourself, well, what is the actual truth about this fear? Am I going to wake up and have a heart attack tomorrow? Well, the probability is very slim. I eat right. I exercise. I don't exercise as much as I should, or whatever your situation is. It allows you to bring it back to a more manageable directive that allows you to see it in a new perspective. So it impacts when you get stuck in a behavior loop. how it creates this stagnation, not only in your mind, but in your physical day-to-day activities. When you go through, and we're going to jump back to that behavior of fear as the example. So creating stagnation in your mind because your fear has consumed you. That is a very strong emotion. For some people, it has been to the point of paralyzing them to make any new decisions because they can't get out of this loop. So when you go through the process of, okay, I've just realized fear is my behavior. I now realize, okay, I'm at the point to where it's not really true that that event's going to happen. What do I do every day that cycles me back to that feeling? So now you're investigating, what do you do? Do you wake up in the morning and you have somebody who you turn on the news and that news reporter is telling you that the world's going to end and it's feeding you all of these negative things, and then that your trigger that keeps you in that fear loop? And you're going to go through and dissect your day-to-day activities in order to give you the breakdown that allows you to see where that behavior creates a dam, a stopping point, or a full-blown breakdown and paralyzes you. Once you bring that to the forefront of your mind, this allows you to stay focused, keep yourself alert, and allow yourself the grace to explore and be curious of why. Why am I being fearful of this task? Why am I being fearful that I'm going to fail if I've never done it in the past? It allows your brain to see things in multiple perspectives, and it allows you to then find what is truthful to you. So that's where that autopilot is deadly, because if we stay on autopilot, we never allow our brain to go, whoa, why am I doing this? We just do it because we've accepted it, the path of least resistance. And our brain is going to keep doing it. The more we keep doing that, the more we're wiring our brain to believe that fear is the driver, not yourself. And when we continue to hand over the keys, then we have little to no control until we kick them off autopilot and we take it back. We start getting curious about ourselves. Let's go ahead and move into the next one. And this one is your emotions. And the fact that we brought up fear is a great segue into this. Your emotions are attached to the actions we do through learned behaviors, through learned actions and consequences that reward our brain. So going forward, when you're asking yourself these questions and you're getting curious about what you see, what you feel, then you're going to start asking again, diving deeper into what you're looking for, and ask yourself, what do I want and how do I want to feel? And see if you can connect the way that you're acting or behaving to the way you're feeling, and see where they need to align or see where they're not aligning so you can make those adjustments. Your behavior, it's kind of like the chicken and the egg. Which one comes first? Is it the emotions that are driving the behaviors, or is it the behaviors that are driving the emotions? That solely depends on your awareness. If you're in autopilot, your behaviors will drive your emotions. If you're in the driver's seat, your emotions will navigate you to make better behavioral choices. So when you're moving forward, your end result is always your reward. I got the client that I wanted. I made my goal, my external goal of exercising 3 days a week. Whatever that end reward is, that's what our brain is focused on. Well, what happens when you get to that reward? Do you circle back around because, oh, I've completed my reward? No, we have to train our brain for that emotional connection. So we choose to seek and gain that feeling again, not through the external, but through our own emotional regulation, our own emotional reward. So therefore, the new behaviors that we're setting in place become long-term. They become second nature. We're not fighting against it because it's something that's internally constantly rewarding ourselves.